The world feels like it's spinning faster every day. Emails flood your inbox before breakfast. Relationships demand more than you have to give. Unexpected crises erupt without warning. That constant tightness in your shoulders, the sleepless nights replaying conversations, the dread of tomorrow's problems. This isn't just stress. This is life testing you. But here's what history's greatest minds discovered. There's a way to stand firm when everything around you is falling apart. Not by changing the world, but by mastering your place within it. 2,000 years ago, as Rome burned and empires crumbled, Stoic philosophers uncovered timeless truths about human resilience. These weren't abstract ideas. They were survival tools for gladiators and emperors alike. Today, their wisdom remains your most powerful weapon against modern chaos. In this video, we'll walk through 10 Stoic practices that will fundamentally alter how you face life's storms. You'll learn how to transform toxic work environments into training grounds for patience, heartbreak into profound self-discovery, financial stress into exercises in creativity, everyday irritations into tests of character. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about precise thinking, the kind that helped prisoners of war survive torture, that guided explorers through uncharted territories, that empowers Navy SEALs to perform under impossible pressure. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a new lens on life, where obstacles become opportunities, where fear becomes focus, where chaos becomes clarity. The problems won't disappear, but your ability to meet them, calm, centered, and in control, will shock everyone around you, especially yourself. This is your invitation to join the ranks of history's most resilient mind. The path won't always be easy, but it's proven. The storm isn't going away, but neither are you. Press play. Your unshakable future starts now. Remember, the same fire that melts butter forges steel. Which will you choose to be? The Stoic anchor. How ancient wisdom reveals your unshakable core. Picture yourself adrift in open waters, no compass, no map, at the mercy of every changing wind and wave. This is what life feels like without purpose. Now imagine gripping a solid rudder in your hands, feeling its steady weight as it cuts through the chaos, keeping you true to your course. This is what Stoicism offers, not just philosophy, but a lifeline to your truest self. Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher, knew something we often forget. Purpose isn't found in calm waters. It's forged in storms. When he said difficulties reveal character, he wasn't offering empty inspiration. He was handing you a chisel to sculpt your destiny. Your purpose isn't some distant finish line. It's the fire that burns away everything false, leaving only what matters. This journey demands brutal honesty. It asks, what will you stand for when everything falls apart? Who will you choose to be when no one's watching? Not the goals you post on social media, not the achievements that impress your parents, but the quiet truths that make your soul sit up straight. Maybe it's integrity when compromise would be easier. Maybe it's courage when fear shouts louder. Maybe it's simply showing up day after day for what matters most. Here's the paradox. When you find this North Star, something miraculous happens. The same challenges that once crushed you become sacred tests. That toxic job, a training ground for patience, that broken relationship, a masterclass in boundaries, that overwhelming anxiety, fuel for your transformation. Your purpose won't be found in comfort. It emerges when you dare to ask in the mirror, what kind of person does this broken world need me to become? And then, this is crucial, when you live the answer without apology. This is Stoicism in action, not passive resignation, but fierce alignment. Not controlling life's storms, but becoming the eye within them. Your purpose isn't out there waiting to be found. It's in here, waiting to be unleashed. The waves will keep coming, but with this anchor, you'll never drift again. Press play. Your unshakable self is waiting. Your struggle could be someone else's lighthouse. Remember, the same sea that sinks ships also teaches them to sail. Hit subscribe. Your greatest voyage begins where comfort ends. The Stoic Fortress. How to build unshakable discipline in a chaotic world. Purpose without protection is like a flame in the wind. Beautiful in theory, but easily extinguished when life blows hard. This is where most fail. They find their why, then watch helplessly as daily distractions and setbacks snuff it out. But not you, not anymore. Stoicism reveals the missing link between intention and transformation. Relentless, disciplined action. Not the kind that burns bright for a week then fades, but the steady, determined kind that weathers every storm. Imagine your purpose as an ancient oak. Its strength comes not from occasional bursts of growth, but from decades of silent, consistent reaching toward the light. Epictetus, the philosopher who turned his suffering into strength, showed us this truth. Your resilience isn't measured in the easy days, but in how you show up when everything in you wants to quit. That project that's testing your patience, that's your training ground. That criticism that stings, your opportunity to practice emotional judo. That voice whispering, give up, your chance to prove who you really are. Here's the daily practice that, if you can, separates the stoic from the shaken, the morning anchor. Before checking your phone, ask, what one action today will honor my deepest purpose? The evening firewall. As night falls, audit. What threatened my focus today, and how will I strengthen my defenses tomorrow? The mind's inner citadel. Build an invisible fortress where only truth enters. Negative thoughts? They wait at the gates. Toxic opinions? They don't get past the drawbridge. That baker in your story holds the key, not in their skill with dough, but in their ruthless editing of distractions. While others chase trends and approval, they knead their craft in sacred solitude. This isn't avoidance. This is strategic focus, the kind that built empires, created masterpieces, and changed history. Your mind is sacred ground. Guard it like a warrior monk. Let in only what nourishes. Question every intruder thought. Cultivate silence as fiercely as knowledge. The world will try to storm your gates. Let it. Each assault makes your walls stronger. Each resisted temptation forges greater willpower. Soon, you'll stand unshaken, not because life got easier, but because you've become immovable. Your move. Today, identify one mental weak spot. Maybe social media, toxic relationships, or self-doubt. For the next 7 days, fortify it like Rome defended its borders. Report back. Your discipline will inspire others to raise their own standards. Remember, oaks don't grow overnight, but they outlast every storm. Your purpose is worth protecting. Now go build your fortress. Comment below, what's one distraction you're banishing from your mental space this week? Sometimes naming it is the first victory. The Stoic Shield. How to turn criticism into your greatest strength. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, completely dry. The wind howls, the rain pours, but not a single drop touches you. This is what it feels like to master the Stoic art of handling criticism, not by avoiding the storm, but by learning to stand untouched within it. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending offense doesn't sting. It's about developing something far more powerful, the ability to decide what deserves to sting. When criticism comes your way, whether from a stranger online, a demanding boss, or even someone you love, you hold a secret weapon they can't see. Between their words and your reaction exists a sacred space of choice. This is where your power lives. The ancient Stoics discovered what modern psychology confirms. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. When someone criticizes you, two things happen simultaneously: the external event, their words, and your internal interpretation. Most people collapse these into one experience, letting others dictate their emotional state. But you're learning to separate them. Here's how it works in practice. The pause. When criticism lands, breathe. Not a shallow gasp, but a deep, grounding breath that creates space between insult and response. The examination. Ask, is this true? Is this useful? Or is this more about them than me? The reclaiming. Choose your response consciously. not reactively, based on your values, not their volatility. That colleague who undermines you in meetings, they become your patience trainer. The relative who questions your life choices, your compassion coach. The internet troll, your detachment drill. But this isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent. The Stoic path teaches us to acknowledge the initial sting, suppression backfires, interrogate its message. Is this feedback or just noise? Metabolize what's useful, extract the nutrients, discard the toxins. Epictetus, who endured slavery and exile, left us this truth. If someone speaks badly of you, that's their problem. Your problem is making sure they're wrong. Your character isn't defined by what others say about you, but by what you do, despite, and sometimes because of, their words. Your challenge today: the next time criticism comes, try this 3-step ritual. Say to yourself, this is my training ground. Extract one useful insight, if any exists. Release the emotional residue like a leaf floating down a stream. Remember, the world will always have opinions, but your inner citadel, built brick by Stoic brick, is where true peace lives. Guard it well. The Stoic art of masterful living, how to transform every challenge into strength. Imagine standing at the edge of a stormy sea, watching the waves crash against the rocks. Most people see only chaos and danger, but the Stoic sees something more profound, a perfect demonstration of nature's power and resilience. This is the essence of true wisdom, not just enduring life's storms, but learning to dance in the rain. The ancient Stoics discovered what modern science now confirms. Our greatest power lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering our internal world. When Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters," he revealed the secret that has guided warriors, leaders, and visionaries for centuries. The Stoic path to unshakable strength, the pause that transforms between stimulus and response, lies a sacred space, a moment where your true power lives. That coworker who undermines you, the stranger who cuts you off in traffic, these aren't just annoyances, they're your daily training grounds. Each time you choose response over reaction, you're building emotional muscle that no circumstance can break. The alchemy of acceptance. Modern life tells us to fight against reality, to resist aging, avoid discomfort, and rage against inconveniences. Stoicism offers a radical alternative, deep acceptance as the foundation for true change. This isn't passive resignation. It's the ultimate strategic move. Like a martial artist who uses their opponent's energy, you'll learn to transform obstacles into fuel. The forgiveness paradox. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Stoic forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of bitterness. When you release the weight of old wounds, you create space for extraordinary growth. Practical wisdom for modern life? Morning preparation. Spend 5 minutes envisioning potential challenges of your day. Not to worry, but to prepare. Evening reflection. Ask, where did I react today, instead of respond? What would my best self have done? The 10-minute rule. When offended, give yourself 10 minutes of stillness before responding. Watch how many conflicts never happen. The Stoic edge in today's world. In our age of instant gratification and endless distraction, Stoicism isn't just philosophy, it's survival skills for the soul. That difficult boss, your patience coach, the financial setback, your creativity trainer, the heartbreak, your compassion teacher, every challenge comes bearing gifts if you have the eyes to see them. The person who masters this art becomes truly unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because they become wiser, stronger, and more adaptable. Your invitation to transformation. This isn't about memorizing quotes from dead philosophers. This is about waking up tomorrow with new eyes, eyes that see opportunities where others see obstacles. The journey begins with a single step, the decision that your peace is more important than your pride. Press play. Your unshakable self is waiting. Comment below. What's one situation where practicing the pause could transform your life? Your insight might light the way for others. Subscribe for weekly wisdom that turns ancient truth into modern power. Remember, the oak tree grows strongest when facing the wind, so can you. Stay strong, stay stoic. The Stoic Path: how to live in harmony with nature and yourself. The greatest illusion of modern life is that we're separate from nature, that our digital lives, our ambitions, and our endless distractions somehow remove us from the fundamental truths that guided humans for millennia. The Stoics knew better. 2,000 years ago, Epictetus revealed a secret we've forgotten. True peace comes not from conquering nature, but from aligning with it, both the nature around us and the nature within us. This isn't poetic metaphor. This is practical philosophy for a life well lived. Living according to nature begins with a simple but radical act: self-reckoning. Not the superficial self of social media profiles and carefully crafted personas, but your essential self, the one that existed before the world told you who to be. What makes your soul sit up straight? What principles would you defend, even if no one was watching? This is your inner compass, your true north. The Stoics identified 4 pillars of natural living that transform existence from chaos to clarity: wisdom to see clearly, courage to act decisively, justice to interact honorably, temperance to maintain balance. These aren't abstract ideals, they're daily practices. That difficult conversation you're avoiding, courage training, the temptation to cut corners, justice in rehearsal, the urge to check your phone for the 50th time, temperance waiting to be born. 2. The social web. We're not isolated beings, but threads in a vast tapestry. Your happiness is inextricably linked to how you contribute to your community. That coworker who annoys you, they're your patience practice. The stranger needing help, your chance to express interconnectedness. In a world screaming more, the Stoic whispers, this is sufficient. Not minimalism for aesthetics, but for liberation. Each possession released, each distraction eliminated, creates space for what truly nourishes you. Seasons change, tides ebb and flow. You will face growth and loss, joy and sorrow. This isn't misfortune, it's the rhythm of existence. Resistance creates suffering, acceptance creates peace. Practical steps to start today. Morning alignment. Before checking your phone, ask, what would my best self do today? Evening audit. Review where you resisted your nature and where you flowed with it. Nature communion. Spend unstructured time outdoors. No photos, no posts, just presence. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in The Chaos of War, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the ultimate promise of Stoicism, not control over life's storms, but the ability to dance in the rain. Your next step, pick one area, virtues, community, simplicity, or acceptance, and focus on it this week. Notice how deeply connected these all are. What's one area of life where you need more Stoic strength today? Your challenge might help others realize they're not alone. What storm in your life right now might be secretly shaping your purpose? What's one criticism that used to devastate you, but now makes you stronger? Your story could help someone find their footing. Which of nature's rhythms, seasons, tides, day, night, most reminds you to accept life's changes? Your observation might help others see their struggles differently. Comment below. Hit subscribe, not just for more wisdom, but to join a community learning to turn life's arrows into armor. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom made practical. Remember, the oak tree doesn't fight winter. It prepares, rests, and emerges stronger. So can you. Stay grounded, stay growing, the Stoic way.